Shalom Ubaraka, Mishpaka, peace and blessings, family. In this video, we're going to be talking about these quote-unquote drones that they're seeing, especially on the East Coast, in New Jersey, now in Baltimore and Maryland, now in New York as well, and just recently, California. So let's talk about these things, man. Let me tell you what it is. This is a full-on war in the sky. Now, basically, the U.S. government has created drones. On top of that, there are actual orbs, spiritual beings, that clearly are not from this earth, that are shooting them down. It was the orbs that were here first, and it looks like these drones are trying to fight against these orbs. Why would mankind try to fight against spiritual beings is beyond me. But that's what it looks like, or it could look like the orbs are trying to fight against these drones to save us because of what our government is probably trying to do, is poison us or, use some type of radiation or frequency against us or whatever. We don't know, but this is what we can see. What we do know is that drones are in the sky and some type of spiritual being is in the sky, and they're at war with each other right above our heads. The people in power are basically saying that they're coming out of the ocean.
And she reports that she saw 50 drones coming from the ocean to the mainland.
Right? The ones that are coming out of the ocean are spiritual beings, because under the ocean there are portals, and these portals lead to basically the waters above. Now, let me explain something to you. What you're looking at right here, this is called Dyson spheres, okay? Dyson spheres. This is what NASA claimed to have discovered when they pointed their telescope at a specific part of the star network in the sky at night. Now, of course, guys, I don't trust NASA. However, a liar never only tells lies. It's impossible, right? Liars have to take truth and distort it. They can't just tell a pure lie. So when you see things from NASA, you have to be able to filter the truth from the lie. There's going to be some truth with it. So let me talk about these Dyson spheres. In this picture, you can't really see anything. They just all look like stars. They say these things suck the energy from stars, and this is how they live. They're basically like living things, but they think that they are big motherships full of civilization that use star energy to power its civilizations, or it's just something that's a living thing, just moving around. We don't know. Now, let me explain something to you guys. This is what they say Dyson spheres look like up close. Of course, they have never seen a Dyson sphere up close. The reason why we know the shape, or the reason why NASA knows the exact shape of these things, is because of this picture captured from the James Webb Space Telescope. As you can see, there it is, and a lot of these pictures that NASA puts out, they're just fake, right? They're just fake pictures or edited or something else. But I think this one is real. Let me tell you why. Because NASA, they want to get people away from God. So why would you put something from the Bible in your picture? This is an ofanim. Okay, it's described exactly how it looks in the book of Ezekiel chapter 1. 2 rings, 4 sides. Period. That's an ofanim. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Ezekiel went to Babylon. If you don't know, this is why they're gonna lie to you about the lands, because once you know where the lands truly are, you understand a lot of different things in this world. The true Babylon, guys, is in Quebec, which is at the northern part of the northern hemisphere. In Quebec, you see the aurora borealis every now and again, and that's what Ezekiel describes In Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 4, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding in itself. The word enfolding in itself in the Hebrew means carrying itself. So this is in the sky, the fire in the sky. He says it's a fire, but it looks like a cloud, and it looks like a whirlwind. So he doesn't really know what it is. He's just trying to describe it himself, right? But it looks like a fire, and it has brightness about it, right? And out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So he doesn't know what he's looking at. He's just describing it the best way he can. But essentially, guys, he's just describing the aurora borealis. Okay, that's basically what he's describing. But out of the aurora borealis, you can read about, you know, the cherubim, but that's not what we're going to be talking about here. The second thing that he sees are the ofanim. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 16, and the appearance of the wheels, the word wheels in the Hebrew is ofanim, and their work was like unto the color of beryl. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work were as a wheel in the middle of a wheel. And they went upon four sides, and they turned not when they went. And as for the rings, they were so high and were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them. Four. So look, this is what you have to understand, guys. So Ezekiel sees something. He says, he describes the color of it. He said they have like it's like a wheel inside of a wheel, and they have four sides. Okay, so basically like two rings, you know, surrounding each other, and they moved around these two rings that made four sides total. And it said they were so high and dreadful, which means these things were huge, large, and they were full of eyes round about them. When these things come to earth, they're not going to appear in all their glory. Okay, they have to mask themselves. What these things do is they are kind of a form of watcher. That's why they have eyes round about. They are basically a surveillance being. Okay, so what does that have to do with the location of Babylon, you may ask? Well, Babylon is in the north. The aurora borealis is in the north. Portals come out of the aurora borealis, guys. Portals come out of the aurora borealis. We talked about this back in 2000, I believe it was 2023 or 2022. The portal came out of the aurora borealis in Alaska. It was on video, and they blamed it on Elon Musk. But come on, guys, let's be real. Is Elon Musk God? Like, he can actually just make a portal? And no. But the reason why they're tying it to Elon Musk is because Elon Musk is trying to shoot his rockets into these portals. Why? Because Elon Musk himself works for fallen entities. And these fallen entities want to go back to the mountain of God. They were kicked out of the mountain of God because Yahuwah found iniquity in them, and he cast them to this dimension so they could die like men. When they're in the spiritual realm, in their spiritual bodies, they cannot die. They live forever. So he turns them into humans so that, as a punishment, so that they can eventually die. But they want to get back to the mountain of God. They're doing anything. So this is why the Tower of Babel was built in Canada, so they can be high enough to reach these portals that come from the aurora borealis. The people at the top of the Tower of Babel were not human. These were actually spiritual beings that were in the form of humans, and they had to find some way to get back to the portal so they could be sucked back into the Garden of Eden, into the Mount of God, which is in another dimension. And basically, there's portals in the aurora borealis. And the aurora borealis was in Jersey and New York and all that other stuff. So with that being said, these things are popping up. They're coming out of the aurora borealis. And when these things came out, you know, they know how to create their own portals, even in New Jersey. So I can show you this video right here of these things creating portals, going into portals and leaving out of portals, going into portals and leaving out of portals. If you look at this video, at the top left of the screen and kind of right of that, there are portals in this video where they're going in and out, in and out, in and out. And these are the quote-unquote drones, what they call drones. Of course, these are not drones. These are spiritual beings. But when you see them high up in the air, they look huge. They look bigger than a plane and bigger than any of that stuff. However, what I do know is that they're going to be all over the United States, and they're going to be all over the world. Okay, how do I know this? Well, back in July 2023, I had a dream. I walked outside my house at night, and I seen all these things in the air, and they look like stars. I described them as stars. I write down all my dreams, and I said they were stars when I wrote them down, but they're not stars. I seen all these bright things in the sky, and they were in the shape of a map of the earth. Like, imagine a world map, you know, North America, South America, Africa, Europe, etc. Right? Just imagine a world map, but it's made out of stars. That's what I seen in the sky, and it was covering the whole sky. And it wasn't until yesterday I realized that dream possibly means that these things are going to be all over the world. These entities of light are going to be all over the world. Everybody's going to see them. And they must be doing some type of surveillance. They must be gathering some type of intel. My theory is maybe they're just taking track of where all the Israelites are on earth. Just taking note of where all the Israelites are on earth at all times. Reason why is because the gathering is about to happen. And when Yah decides to gather everybody, all these Israelites, he knows exactly where to take them from, down to the street, down to the neighborhood, not just down to the country, not just down to the state, not just down to the province, not just down to the city, but as far down as the street and address of where every single Israelite on earth lives, so he can gather them more efficiently. Probably what's going to happen is during the gathering, these things are going to show up at your house. These beings are going to show up at your house and tell you to come on, tell you to go exactly where to go, you know. And that's a possibility, guys. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. That's a possibility. I don't know. These are just theories that's coming out of my mouth right now. But I did have that dream, and in that dream I looked up in the air, and these light beings were in the shape of a world map, and it just showed me that the whole world is going to be covered with these light beings. If you were to see the true size of these things, you will be so scared. What I do know is that Yahuwah did call his mighty ones to Babylon before, when he flooded Babylon. Right before he flooded and destroyed Babylon, Yahuwah called his mighty ones to shake the earth. He told them to stand on the mountains and shake the earth. So a lot of times Yahuwah does call these spiritual beings to the earth. But in this particular situation, I can't really tell you what they're doing here, why they're here. But I can tell you that these are indeed spiritual beings. They do come from the north. They do come from the mountain of God. Yahuwah did send them, and they're here for some purpose, and they're going to be all over the United States. They're going to be all over the world. That's basically all I can tell you right now, guys. Now, I want to dissect this video right here. You see this blue ofanim. It's the color of beryl, a blue beryl. And you can see it's ofanim. You can see the rings. And the U.S. military shot it with a drone strike. And it split in half, but it's still there. It just regenerates. It just came back. It turns red, comes back. It turns white, you know, but it comes back, you know. And honestly, if you look at it again, it looks like it turned into 3 more of them, right? It looks like it turned probably 3 or 4 more of them. So it's like, if you try to take them down, they just gonna multiply. Like, you know, it's pointless trying to disturb Yah's beings, Yah's mighty ones. You're not gonna be able to take down Yah's mighty ones. That's crazy.